Hello and welcome to my channel, The Gray-Haired Writer. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I found time to write, and that is despite working 2 jobs while I was working on my first book, No Remorse, No Regret. No doubt you might be wondering as to how you could possibly find time to write your book, or whatever else is you're working on for your writing, while you also have a full-time job and family responsibilities. After all, time to write is not something that is hidden under a rock or anywhere else for you to find. You gotta come up with something, don't ya? And maybe you want to put your writing dreams on hold, or are thinking if you should give them up altogether. Well, I am here to tell you that you don't have to give up on your dreams or put them on hold, and well, you really shouldn't do that either, because dreams simply don't have deadlines. So how did I do it while working 2 jobs, and how you can find the time to write your book? First thing I did was I did a time audit. What I mean by that is for 1 week I tracked the amount of time on a notebook and all notes on an app on my phone as well as my computer I spend on every activity I did, and that includes my job, the meals, eating, how much time I went to the gym, and everything else, commute to and from work, and well, pretty much everything. That's something you can do as well. And from that, you can possibly find time, pockets of time that is, where you can do some writing. One thing I did, and you can possibly do as well, is wake up 30 to 60 minutes earlier, or go to bed a little bit later. It gives you a little bit of time to do some writing. Oftentimes, the first hour in the morning might be your best bet. That's when everyone else is usually asleep and you can work undisturbed. That is, assuming you have a spouse or children to look after. I will admit, though, for me that was a lot easier because I'm not married and I don't have children. But remember, I was also working 2 jobs at the time when I was working on my first book. For those of us, or I should possibly say, hopefully most of us have full-time jobs, assuming you're not a millionaire author like Stephen King, there will still be time during the day when you can work on your writing. I will assume at your job that they allow you to have breaks during your workday. I mean, they're legally required to, so yes. Such as your coffee break and lunch breaks. Well, use that time to work on your book. While your employer probably won't permit you to use the company computer to work on your personal stuff like books or anything else like that, you can use a notebook like this or a pad of paper like this. That's one of the things I did. I had a notebook exactly like this that I got from Dollarama. That's Canada's dollar store. And I would scribble down some notes like this. Working on scenes, dialogue, and anything else that I could think of when it came to me while I was on the break. There's lots of examples of authors who were working full-time jobs while working on their first book. Me, not just me, but famous ones like Tom Clancy was an insurance salesman while he was writing The Hunt for Red October. Scott Turow also worked as a lawyer, so remember, it can be done. Another thing you can do is use stolen moments outside of your breaks at work and getting up an hour early. What I mean by this is, have you ever been to an appointment at the dentist, doctor, hairdresser, or anything else and have it start right on time? You know that's a joke, don't you? Because of course no appointment really ever starts on time, so next time you're at an appointment, bring your trusty old notebook again and with you, and while you're waiting, work on a scene in your story, or work on character development, or, well, use your writer's imagination to come up with anything you can think of to work on. Another example of a stolen moment is, let's say you're on your commute and there is a road construction of some sort and you have to stop until they let you pass. I mean, after all, a straight point between the shortest distance between 2 points is almost always under construction, isn't it? Well, this is perfect time you can whip out your notebook or your smartphone and start writing away. Remember, you can use your smartphone for dictating. Like, you can do something like this. Open up your dictating app and have something around the lines like, Mark went up to Janine and said, "How you doing, babe?" And she was thinking, rolling her eyes, "You're such a loser, get the hell away from me." And another thing, if you're waiting for your morning coffee to boil, whether using a kettle or an instant coffee or a coffee maker instead of chomping at the bit, waiting and waiting and waiting for the coffee to boil. I want my coffee, bah. This can give you some time to do your writing. And before you know it, your coffee is ready and you can work on your story. Kind of like this. Like, watch me, my coffee. Take a sip and then do some writing. It was not a dark and stormy night. It was, well, I can't quite remember because there were bullets whizzing by my head, and you don't tend to notice the weather when a bullet whizzes right by your face so closely you can actually feel the wind from it. Likewise, if you put a roast in the oven or any other food while you're waiting for it to cook, this will give you time to work on your story. As a dictation thing, open up your dictation app again or your notebook and, "Hello, my love," Jason said to Marcia. "It's been so long since I saw you. I've missed you so much." Or something along those lines. And not to get too personal, no one will ever question why you are spending an extra few minutes in the bathroom. Hopefully not anyway, unless of course you're in there for an hour. Then they might question you and you might get a knock on the door. And they might be saying, "Hey, you alright in there?" And you can say, "Well, quite alright, I just got caught up doing something you don't really want to know about." These are just a few of the ways you can find or make time to write. You are only limited by your imagination, which as a writer should possibly be limitless, hopefully not limited. I hope the video helped you, and you feel free to share in the comments section below how you have been able to find time to work on your story. And if you're so inclined, you can also tell me which ones of these you're going to try and which will help. Have a great day and week. See you next time. So long.